Hello, YouTubers. Zoa here, and if you're wondering why I'm on, what do you call it, trading cards online, it is because I have rebuilt an old deck of mine from the DuelMasters TCG. Now, for those of you that don't know, DuelMasters was like a light version of, Magic the Gathering, except with, health, or 20 health, I believe Magic had. You actually had shields, and the rules were slightly different, but the base of the game was pretty much the same, with the mana and the creatures and the spells and blah blah blah, what have you. So, yeah, a few people still play DM online. Obviously, on this website, some people do still play. Some people play a different variant of it, Kaijudo Portal, I believe, or Kiri Court. Let me see if I can pull that up on IRC real quicky, like. Alright, let's see what we have up here. Okay, yeah. Alright, so as you can see, let me see. KaijudoPortal.com is the website, obviously. But yeah, that's another site that plays a different take with better rules than the English version. Moving on. So the deck is called Chaotic Ultima 4.0. That's not the final name. What happened was I actually used to use this deck 6 years ago, and I stopped playing online. I got bored or whatever, and I forgot what the deck was. The deck I originally had was. I kept it up to date and everything at the time, 6 years ago. And what happened was, as you all know, my Dell died, and all that stuff was on the Dell hard drive. So, I had to rebuild from scratch. I just posted the deck today. Me and a friend of mine of Kaijudo Portal, Belle. She's the head up. Okay, whatever. Anyway, she's kind of the main what do you call it, CEOs of Kaijudo Portal, if you have to get technical about it. And basically, we went over a few decks that I had, and we compiled basically a generalization of my deck that I used to have, and then I've been going over, as you can see, all the updates here. I've been adding and removing and moving stuff around and whatever, you know. So let's go with it. I'm gonna show you. Okay, here's the darkness. 12 cards. I don't know why it's 12. It should have been 14, I think. No, I know why. Okay, never mind. Forget what I said. Alright, so each civilization is supposed to be dead on even with everything. There's supposed to be 14 cards per civilization, minus the 14 cards per civ, so that's 17 creature cards. No, 7 creature cards, 7 spell cards. And I do try to keep that ratio, but sometimes with this deck, with this type of deck, as big as it is, a 70 card deck, you can't keep the ratio. This deck actually takes care of almost any and everything that can be thrown at you. Now, remember, this was back in the English meta, when the game actually died, that this deck was good. Obviously, I will be updating it for the new meta that people play online now, and possibly if the game does come back as a new name called Kaijudo, yes, there is a new type of game that they're coming out with. Even their stupid kids show to go with it, Kaijudo Rise of the DuelMasters, coming out this summer. And apparently it looks like the same exact game, but it might have some different variants. A couple of cards from the old DuelMasters game has been verified, or figures, or fighters, whatever. So, alright, let's see. We have the Dalios General Fury, Locomotiver, Lost Soul, Proclamation, and Terra Pit. And, alright, I'm just gonna go on with this now. Locomotiver and Lost Soul are obviously the hand destruction portions. This removes all cards from the hand, I believe. Wow, won't even show it. And Locomotiver is a shield trigger creature. Costs 4 mana, I believe. Yeah, 4 mana. I can't even pull it up, I'm stupid. Yes, 4 mana and it's a shield trigger creature, and the opponent has to discard a card when it comes into the battle zone. So there you go. Let's see, Proclamation and Terror Pit are general field destruction cards. And Daedalus is just a creature filler. Okay, he's a double breaker, he's cheap, and whenever he attacks, destroy one of my creatures. So, usually the Aqua Hulkuses that I have in this deck, the Bronze Arms tribes, anything weaker than him will be the sacrifice for it. I'm sorry. I mean, with 11,000 damage, you can take out pretty much almost anything. Even any evolution, almost. Let's see. So that's it. I mean, Dark Handle is pretty much the field. Fire does pretty much the same thing. Apocalypse Vice handles the field. Obviously, it can take out, let me see. Destroy any of your number of your opponent's creatures that have total power 8,000 or less. Yes, alright. So, that could actually mess me up as well, I believe, right? Yeah. No, my opponent, okay. I could have sworn that used to be... Whatever, I'm sorry. Anyways, so Pyron Fighter Magnus. It is a 3... What was it? What kind of freaking... Okay, it's a 3 fire card. When it has, 3,000 attack. It has speed attack, which means it doesn't get summoning sickness. And at the end of your turn, it returns to your hand. So, it's a pretty good card. It stops all the Russian decks dead in their tracks. Rufus the Traveler. Everyone has a lot of different ways to call this guy. When you put this creature into the battle zone, destroy one of your creatures. Then your opponent chooses one of his creatures and destroys it. A 4-drop creature for 4,000 power. Not bad, really. And, you know, like I said, a Bronze Arm Tribe or an Aqua Hulkus gets sacrificed. Just like, excuse me. Just like for the, Daedalus up here. And, you know, again, it's taking something away from your opponent. Tornado Flame. Obviously, you just, it's a shield trigger spell. Destroy one of your opponent's creatures that has 4,000 or less. Alright. And Twins Cannon Sky Terror. He's an expensive card to play. If you don't have the mana boost. But he can be deadly. He's a speed attacker, which means he could attack right when he's summoned. He has 7,000 damage, and he's a double breaker. Now, for those of you that don't know, double breaker means instead of attacking only getting 1 shield, it can actually take 2 out. So it's pretty good. Now here's where the 2 cards, excuse me, the 2 cards essentially don't add up to where all the civs are supposed to have 14 cards. I have Gallic the Shadow Warrior for the, Fire and Darkness. Now, what the thing with the dual civ cards are is, my English sucks. The thing with the dual civ cards is when they go into your mana zone, they go in tapped. So, if you actually do play DuelMasters, you know to put these in first turn or second turn. You know, never a turn when you're going to summon something. When you put this creature into the battle zone, destroy one of your opponent's creatures that has blocker. Then your opponent discards a card at random from his hand. Now, at 5 mana with 2,000 power, that seems a little cheap, rip-offy, you know, but it's not. I mean, think about it. If you're gonna make room for another card, such as, Twin Cannon, or whatever, you actually, let me see. You get to choose which, blocker, if your opponent has any, gets destroyed. So, if you really think strategically, this card is really decent for what it is. Let's see, Miraculous Rebirth. It is a Nature Fire spell card. It costs 6 mana, right? Yes. Destroy one of your opponent's creatures that has power 5,000 or less. When your opponent puts that creature into his graveyard, search your deck. You may take a creature from your deck that has the same cost as that creature and put it into the battle zone. Then shuffle your deck. Again, this is really good for my deck in terms of, so I can get out my high levels. You'll be seeing some of the other high levels I have in this deck, or I can get out a low level. Now, most of the people will be using probably oh, I want to say Bloody Scuitto, which is only 1 mana or 2 mana or something like that, or maybe a 4 mana costing creature, or in terms maybe a 5 whatever. And I have plenty of 5 that can actually do damage. Sky Sword and Estol are like my biggest things that no one ever wants to see on my side of the field, ever. And I'll be getting to those pretty soon. Light cards. Glory Snow. Alright, let's go. Let's see. It's a spell card, 4 mana, shield trigger. If your opponent has more cards in his mana zone than you have in yours, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your mana zone. Now this card can make or break me. Usually it will be mana fodder for my deck, because my deck is huge on obtaining mana in many ways. But in the likely event that my opponent does have more mana than me, this actually does help when I want to recoup mana. Usually if I go second, I'll play this without even putting mana into the mana zone, just so I don't, because I'll get 2 right away. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Let's see, the next card is Holy Awe. Tap all creatures in your opponent's field. Now this actually helps just to stop any assault or attack on your part, so it's really a defensive type card. Call on the Oracle. It's a shield trigger creature, which means it comes into the battle zone when it's broken out of a shield. When you put this creature into the battle zone, you may choose one of your opponent's creatures in the battle zone and tap it. So this is like a watered down Holy Awe, but you'd rather have this anyway in your battle zone, so this way you could at least maybe take a swipe at your opponent, and you don't have to worry about summoning sickness. And Rapid Reincarnation, shield trigger. Let's see. You may destroy one of your creatures. If you do, choose a creature in your hand that costs the same as or less than the number of cards in your mana zone and put it into the battle zone. Let me see. That costs the same as or less than the number of cards in your mana zone. Okay, now I get it. So this is actually pretty decent. If I have like 10 mana, I can play anything I want with this. And this is why this card is very lethal in my deck. I don't even have to work for it. Alright, Sky Sword, the Savage Visor. This is the guy I was talking about. It is a 5-drop mana, 2000 powered creature. When you put this creature into the battle zone, put the top card of your deck into your mana zone, then add the top card of your deck to your shield face down. This is where the shield manipulation in this deck comes from. Moving on. Blum Urgus Flare Guardian. This is my trump card for this TCG. It's a, 6-drop, 8,500 mana costing creature. Whenever this creature would break one of your opponent's shields, your opponent shows that shield to you instead of putting it into his hand. If it's a spell that has shield trigger, you cast it for no cost, then put it into your opponent's graveyard. If it's not, your opponent puts it back into his hand, double breaker. So basically what this is like a more powerful version of Cryptic Totem, which you'll see later on when I get down to the end of the deck. Now basically what this is my opponent has a Tornado Flame in a shield trigger, and Urgus, forget it, I'll just call him Flare Guardian. And Flare Guardian breaks it, I get to use that card. I get used Tornado Flame, not my opponent. So this really can cripple an opponent easy. Let's see. Estol, Visitor of Aqua. This is a 5 costing 2000 power creature. When you put this creature into the battle zone, add the top card of your deck into your shield face down, then look at one of your opponent's shields. Now, the second effect isn't good, but I use it just for the added shield regeneration. And with all my spiral gates and everything I have to return it to my hand, it's really easy to deal with. So, let's see. Now we're going into nature. Bronze Arms Tribe, 3 costing 1000 power creature. When you put this creature into the battle zone, put the top card of your deck into the mana zone. I'm sorry. When you put this creature into the battle zone, put the top card of your deck into the mana zone. Blah, whatever. You get the idea. Cryptic Totem. Double Breaker, obviously. Shield Trigger. Ability. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. While this creature is tapped, your opponent can't use the Shield Trigger abilities of his shields. Now, this is a very nice card. Basically, if you know your opponent has a big blocker, you're going to use this card to attack first. And then you'll use all of my low levels, or I'll use all my low levels to attack, knowing that my opponent can't do anything about it. Fairy Life is just like Bronze Arms Tribe. It's a 2-drop spell card. And it has the same effect as Bronze Arms Tribe. God. Mana Nexus. It's a 4-drop spell card that allows me to add a shield from a card, from my mana zone to my shields face down. And that really helps when I have like a shield trigger or something I really want to add to my shields. Natural Snare, it helps my opponent gain mana. I get to choose anything on any creature of his in the battle zone and put it into his mana zone. So that helps. Now, in case someone uses it on me, this is what I use this card for. Soul Swap. Shield Trigger. When this spell is put into your hand... No, sorry. I keep forgetting it has that stupid small text at the end. You may choose a creature in the battle zone and put it into its owner's mana zone. If you do, choose a non-evolution creature in that player's mana zone that costs the same mana less as the number of the card in that mana zone. That player puts that creature into the battle zone. So basically, you can give this effect to your opponent or you can use it on you. It's just like Rapid Reincarnation. So it really works out. 'Cause, I mean, this gives you an extra boost of mana. And you even get to choose what your opponent has to, what your opponent can take. So you could really take something weak or something, take something strong and give him something weak, so he can't do anything to you. So, I mean, this card is highly situational. And for the water, which is the last, Aqua, which is the draw aspect of the card. Aqua Surfer, it's a shield trigger creature, and when it goes into the battle zone, I may choose a creature in the battle zone and return it to its owner's hand. Which means I could return Estel and, Savage or something like that, and use the shield ability again of those cards. Emergency Typhoon. Draw up to 2 cards, then discard a card from your hand. Now this is nice because I get to decide which card I don't really need, and this will help me filter through that huge 70 card deck. Spiral Gate is a 2-drop, it's a 2-drop spell card that works the same as Aqua Surfer, and it is a shield trigger. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Aqua Surfer is a 6-drop card. Yes, a 6-drop card. Submarine Project. This is a 3-drop card, spell card. Let's see. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Put one of them into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So again, this helps cycle through the deck, get rid of 4 cards that you were gonna draw that weren't gonna help you at all, especially if you get doubles. Now, Transmogrify. This is the card that breaks the game when I get it. Alright, listen to this. You may destroy a creature. If you do, its owner reveals a card from the top of its deck until he reveals a non-evolution creature. He puts that creature into the battle zone and puts the rest of those cards into his graveyard. So this, again, can hurt my opponent or me, depending on what'll happen. In other words, I can use this card. I can pull out, I could draw a Blurn or a Totem or something strong like that, or even a Sky Sword or an Estel, and put it into my battle zone for free. Now, how could this hurt me? If my opponent has something strong and I know he's going to kill me with it, I could easily just destroy it and he might get something stronger. that would be my luck, though. So, you know, as you can see, this deck, yeah, big, but it can actually cycle through it, cycle through the deck, or even hold its own without me even having a hand. Let's see, what else? What else should I say? And each civilization carries its own weight. Like, you know, water is for the draw or for the deck manipulation. Nature does the whole mana zone thing. These two cards, all the duels work in unison. The light is more of a defense type of deal. Let's see, and the fire is more of a field destruction type deal. And the darkness is a field and hand control type deal. So, I mean, this deck can almost do anything that a regular built hand destruction deck or a regular built field or mana manipulation deck can do. And it can actually handle that too. I built this deck to simply not have a hand. I built this deck to where I hold it totally on my shields, because that's what this game requires. And there goes Zoa. Alright, so that's it for my deck. I will show more of these later on as they come. And I'm out.